I don't think they think that कि कुछ गलत हो गया तो. Oh, puts me in a spot. I haven't done it single-handedly. My films are working, and I am an important part of those films. I look at it like that. I didn't make those films. I didn't make Bulbulaya, I didn't make Drishyam. I'm just very, very happy that I happen to be, part of those films, and it's destiny and chance that I was in two of the most successful films this year. It was like a treasure, एक ही film में सब कुछ, like.
And it's very rare these days to get such kind of.
It's almost impossible. I don't think cinema will ever be able to, deconstruct that magic that makes a film work. That, I must say that I have been very fortunate that I dodged that getting stereotype thing, because it is also unconscious but also somewhere conscious that I don't like stereotypes myself.
Very early on in your career, Gulzar Saab said that you represent what probably Nutan, Nargis Dutt and Meena Kumari put together. That was a compliment that came from Gulzar Saab. One of the interviews, Shahid Kapoor, your co-star from Haider, he said that Hindi cinema is at a stage where it deserves Tabu. Okay. We recently had your co-star from Bhool Bhulaiya to Kiara Advani saying that Tabu is the golden girl.
It's so nice of her.
Yeah.
Amazing that is.
And we also had Kangana Ranaut saying that Tabu is single-handedly saving the box office of Hindi film industry. How do you take this? All these compliments, all these things, somewhere do you also, back of the mind, subconsciously think about these things, these compliments that come your way?
I really respect the sentiment with which people say that, and my colleagues and, actors and actresses. I deeply respect that sentiment, and I think it's so, it's something that I can't explain how it feels. You can't celebrate success in isolation. The thing that you created with 500 people or 700 people, it's very strange to suddenly be alone when the film is, creating that kind of audience and all that. And I feel it's very important for me to be together with the people who made it.
Hi Tabu, it's so lovely to have you on News 18.
Thank you, Sonal.
I've been chasing you since a while, so going back and forth.
I was just shooting for my movies, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, I know. And then with the shooting, you are also having a lot of success.
Thankfully.
Yes.
God's grace and really some magic.
What's the magic?
We don't know.
You don't know?
I don't think cinema will ever be able to, deconstruct that magic that makes a film work and makes it a success. And I think that's why cinema is so exciting, that's why it's so enticing that you really don't know where it's going to go, but you still, put in all that. I mean, there's some vague sense and formula that people know that ऐसी film चल सकती है, ऐसी film चल सकती है. And on that, I think 50-60% of chance and hope, you make something and then we don't know. It's really up to the audiences and up to so many factors, I feel. There's so many permutations and combinations.
Let's talk about Drishyam 2 that released recently and has already crossed our 200 crores in India. Worldwide it has just before the film released, the word was that it might not do so much numbers because they said that लोगों ने OTT पे original film, Malayalam film देख ली है. Did it surprise you also? Like it has surprised a lot of trade people?
Yeah, because there was always that talk. Of course, Kumarji was one person who was so sure about the film's success. I'm sure he has some calculation or understanding in his head. But a lot of people, even just before the release, they would tell me that it's already come on OTT. The chances are very few that people will go and watch it in theater. And I didn't know. I'm not good at these predictions at all. I really don't know what makes a film work. So I really didn't know where it would go. Kumarji was very sure. And but one thing I knew that the film will get a lot of attention and that it will get a lot of love because the first part is still very fresh in people's mind.
Yeah.
And actually, more than that, I think the kind of effect it had on people and the kind of impact it created and what the story was and so many factors, they've really stayed and they really made a very, very strong, when the first part came out, it really made a very, very strong impact and it created, some kind of space and it said something. It was a very unexpected kind of a film and a story.
Yeah.
Also for, Ajay to be doing that. You saw him in a very different light. I had a very different kind of role. So it was very new and very fresh, but it was so nicely done that it had a fantastic impact. Also emotionally, there was a lot of emotion. There was so much mystery and there was all that. But we did not know that there would be a sequel till Jeetu Joseph actually made that sequel. And of course, then there is a template that Drishyam has. So I knew that there would be a lot of curiosity. People were literally not just for the cinema people, but people were really, really wanting to know what happens, like what happened. Where did he bury the body? Where is the body? So I think that question really stayed in people's mind. So I knew that people will be curious to see what happens in the second part because we are continuing the story. It's not a different film. It's not a different story. But numbers, I don't think anybody knows what the kind of number. If we all knew that itna agar formula hota ke definitely itna karegi, to phir everybody would be making only successful films.
The curiosity is still alive because Ajay sir's character, Vijay Salgaonkar, is never going to reveal what has happened. And your character, Meera Deshmukh, is not going to stop asking questions. And there's already a talk about the third part.
Yeah.
Does that kind of feel,
pressure?
No, not the pressure, the confidence that it comes that, just when the second part is released, the third part is already in talks?
I'm curious to see what the third part will be. We could never imagine that, there'll be such a strong second part.
Yeah.
And the story could be woven and develop and grow like this. So I'm curious to see that if there is a third part, then what will it be? What will it hinge on? What will be the exchange between Meera Deshmukh and Vijay Salgaonkar and what will happen? Now what will be the, अब क्या problem होगा? It'll be interesting to see, but yeah.
But internally, was there ever a talk?
About three?
Yeah,
no.
You all had a success party, you all celebrated the success.
Huh.
Was there ever an informal conversation also between you, Ajay sir, or probably Kumar ji?
No. I think there are talks about the Malayalam version of the three going on floors, but I don't think that's going to be anytime soon.
Right.
So yeah, not in the near future at least.
Right. You started 2022 with Bhool Bhulaiya 2, where you did everything that you haven't done for some time,
yeah,
right?
I never.
Like you danced,
yeah.
You did action, you were on a harness like flying, you did a horror film, you did a double role. Everything something that you do, something that you had probably, I think, did you manifest it or something? And
it was like a treasure, एक ही film में सब कुछ, like.
And it's very rare these days to get such kind of.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
In one film, to get to do all that, to play young, to play your current age, to play two people, to play sisters, to have that conflict, have that craziness, have that darkness, and dance and sing and do action and become a ghost and have no references for those characters, because Anjulika and Manjulika are very special for me, because the story is about them, and it really revolves around that Haveli and that Atma that is trapped in that house. So it was a huge responsibility on me also, but it was that much exciting, and that really pushed me beyond my boundaries in many ways. But also I got to do something that, I mean, it's rare for an actor to get to do all that. And also I think people were seeing me like that. They've never seen me like that, first of all. Like that ghost with blood on her mouth and blood on her face and all that. But it was really something that I also discovered so many things about my own craft, I experienced them because Anees Bhai was there to push me and push my performance on the correct path, because it's not easy to pull off these kind of things. And if you don't have a director of that kind of experience and that kind of conviction, or conviction about what will work and what will not work, it's a very, very tricky place, even for that kind of responsibility to execute, to manage, and to bring everything together. It's commendable that Anees Bhai did it so beautifully, and that he managed everything in the correct measure, and then it worked in that way. So for me personally, as an actor, it was an amazing experience. It was a very abstract space, because we did not know how this whole thing is going to turn out, and how to bring there was a contrast that you had to bring out. One is so dark and one is nice, and how much dark do you go, and but also because the climax is of a different kind altogether. So but it was amazing for me.
In fact, Manjulika was almost like the hero of the film. Like
she got the hero's entry. She got the hero's entry in the film. Yeah. Actually, I heard that people whistled when Manjulika came on screen. That was really rare for a ghost to get that kind of response.
Very rare for a female actor also to get that kind of a response.
Yeah.
We hardly see that happening.
It's exciting.
Yeah. But then, if I just look back at the last 3-4 years, you had you start Andhadhun, De De Pyar De, Jawani Janeman, we had Bhool Bhulaiya, Drishyam, you had a release on OTT with A Suitable Boy. Somewhere it's a feeling that you've expanded.
Alavaikuntapuramlu.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot that. Yes, Alavaikuntapuramlu. But somewhere there is a notion that you expanded the notion of a Hindi film heroine, where it's very difficult to put you in a space. Have you thought that?
No, I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, in words, you are saying it like that. If I've done that, then I think it's a good thing, no?
It is. We hardly see this kind of range, and let's be honest, this industry is very cruel, where they, instantly bracket you into a space.
That I must say that I have been very fortunate that I dodged that getting stereotyped thing, because it is also unconscious but also somewhere conscious that I don't like stereotypes myself, and I don't like to stereotype myself. I never want to put myself in a box. As a person, I'm not like that. I can never be like, this is me and live in that kind of space and definition and identity. I get bored of it.
Sure.
I might come back to it, but I can't be just one thing. So luckily, I haven't gotten stereotype in my movies, in my career. I didn't calculate it. I mean, I can't design it because I will do exactly from what is offered to me.
Yeah.
I can't sit and plan my career के मैं अब मुझे ये film दो. It can't, you know. So I will be able to choose only from what is being offered to me. But in that, I have been extremely fortunate.
That's the beauty, right? Because you might say that you don't want to stereotype yourself, but then the people around you might not think like that. But the people around you also think like that because they can think of you pulling off a double role as a hero, and also somewhere you can pull off a role of a mother and in Alive Venkatapuramulo, or you can pull off a Simi in Andhadhun, or pull off a IG Meera Deshmukh. That's the beauty that you carry, and somewhere filmmakers are also not able to stereotype you.
They did not.
Yeah.
They did not. मतलब क्या बोलते हैं? They didn't think twice, or they did not shy away from coming to me with, say, Arandhadhun, or an Alive Venkatapuramulo, or a Maqbool, or a Golmaal, or a De De Pyar De, or Bhool, or Heather, or Suitable. So I think they also kept coming to me with these, and the first step is from there. And then I did not, I just took them as golden opportunities because, it is different. I don't know if many people can, be so fortunate to get that kind of variety and that kind of conflicting characters, good, bad, every dark, light, everything. So I don't know what to say about that, but I have enjoyed that aspect of my career. I have enjoyed that part of my career. And really, everything just comes to me like that. And maybe because I enjoy that a lot, I enjoy the different journeys that I take through every film of mine. It churns something inside me. It brings out something inside me. It allows me to create a new person from me.
Sure.
For the screen, for the movie. And that's also the challenge. And I take it as a big responsibility on me as an actor. What is it that I can give to this film? What is it that I must give to this film? And if somebody has come and trusted me with this character, with this role, and every character is important, and you feel like you could be one of the reasons that this film works, or you could also be one of the reasons that it might not work, So you're conscious of that, you're aware of that, and still you want to create something interesting for the film. You want to create something interesting for the viewer in your work, that the viewer is interested in watching you.
Right.
And when they're watching you, when they're watching your character through the film, and they're watching your film, it's interesting for them to watch.
Yeah.
It's watchable,
Sure.
You want to create that. So for me, that is what is my, it gives me that kind of creative energy to put into my characters and my films and engage with my directors and
I want to ask you this then. Very early on in your career, Gulzar Saab said that you represent what probably Nutan, Nargis Dutt and Meena Kumari put together. That was a compliment that came from Gulzar Saab. One of the interviews, Shahid Kapoor, your co-star from Heather, he said that Hindi cinema is at a stage where it deserves Tabu. Okay. We recently had your co-star from Bhool Bhulaiyaa to Kiara Advani saying that Tabu is the golden girl.
It's so nice of her.
Yeah.
Amazing that is.
And we also had Kangana Ranaut saying that Tabu is single-handedly saving the box office of Hindi film industry. How do you take this? All these compliments, all these things, somewhere do you also, back of the mind, subconsciously think about these things, these compliments that come your way?
I really respect the sentiment with which people say that, and my colleagues and actors and actresses. I deeply respect that sentiment, and I think it's so. It's something that I can't explain how it feels, because I don't know. I mean, I can't. Happy is a very small word,
Yeah.
and there is so much in these compliments, and there's so much that I experience through these words of appreciation from the industry people. And these are people I've worked with or not worked with or whatever. For them to, take that step and really declare what they feel for me and what they have in their heart for me, I think it's amazing, and I think it shows the grace that they have, So I have just appreciation for what they have said.
Right.
Yeah.
It shows the grace that they have, but when we have spoken to filmmakers who have worked with you, they've often said that oh, तब्बू हमारी फिल्म में है तो हमें कोई टेंशन नहीं है. That's the kind of confidence that they have when they cast you. Does that kind of put you in a spot somewhere somehow where they are known, if you are there, then even if something goes wrong, you're going to be.
My God. I don't think they think that कि कुछ गलत हो गया तो. Oh, puts me in a spot. It pushes me to always. Of course, I take my work very seriously. I might not take myself so seriously, but I take my job and my work very, very seriously. So it makes me feel that, my God, really, is that what they feel about me? And I can't put it in words how it makes me feel. It's like, wow, matlab, what I did and the way I have worked, it's like, this is the result. I mean, I don't know if I'm being able to be clear, but कि इतनी बड़ी बात, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है किसी के लिए बोलना, especially filmmakers के लिए. I think it's a very, very big thing for them to say. और ये बहुत बड़ी बात है कि मेरे प्रोड्यूसर एंड फिल्म मेकर्स अगर ये बोलते हैं या बोले, मुझे जिम्मेदारी तो लगती है डेफिनेटली, बट मुझे अच्छा भी लगता है कि मैंने ऐसा कुछ सही किया होगा या बट मुझे इससे ऐसा भी लगता है कि आई डोंट एवर वांट टू लेट माय फिल्म मेकर्स डाउन. I never want to let my audiences down. I don't want to let my film fraternity down either, and the people who have supported me, who believed in me. So it's a combination of a lot of things. So yeah, but it just pushes me to always do better and better.
But tell me this, someone who is like an accidental actor, if I may call you so, because you came here for summer vacations with your sister and your mother. I think Dev Saab asked you to audition, and then he cast you in Hum Naujawan. You went back because you loved your school. You wanted to finish studies out there.
Yeah.
Then Shekhar Kapoor convinced you that you'll do a college out here, which never happened. Now that you look back and the kind of success one by one, I mean, there's you do a film and it's just there. Have you ever subconsciously or consciously thought that someone who didn't want to do movies is now ruling the roost?
Ruling the roost. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं सोचती हूँ. I haven't done it single-handedly. My films are working. and I am an important part of those films. I look at it like that. I didn't make those films. I didn't make Bulbulaya, I didn't make Drishyam. I'm just very, very happy that I happen to be, part of those films, and it's destiny and chance that I was in two of the most successful films this year. But I don't look at it like that. I don't look at anything in any way, because I'm always thinking of what to do next and what am I doing next and what's on my hands. And because with every film, it's a new process. Also, I think with films and film people, you have success and that's great, but it will last you only a certain, period of time. You can't stretch it or overstretch it. Yeah. Because your next film is again going to be out there for a test. And that's fine. I don't look at that part of my job because that's not my job.
Sure.
My job begins when I go on set. And for me, it's over the day I leave the set. My relationship with my job for that film is over. But of course, you feel a sense of responsibility till the film comes out and all that. So for me, it's like, okay, this is my next project and I better try and do it to the best of my ability and be completely present in that experience.
Sure.
Because also it's such a, it's also in a way organic because you're organically experiencing the film. You're living it, when you're shooting for a film. And you're growing, again you're physically going there, you're experiencing all those emotions, and then you have these new relationships, and there are new characters, and there are new people that you're working with. So every film is so new experientially, Then you go into that, and it keeps happening. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Movies is an ongoing process. And even within that film, every day is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
What you finally achieved during the day. Aaj kitne shot hue, अच्छा क्या था, बुरा क्या था, what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's really crazy and there are so many subtle layers to this job. Yeah.
I want to ask you about your upcoming releases, which is Kutte, Bola and Khufia. And somewhere, one thing that is common is the fact that all those roles were earlier actually meant for male actors. If you see, Kathy, the original film of Bola, the character that you play is
originally
played by male. Filmmakers are ready to change the gender of the roles just to accommodate you, or probably you being a part of the film. And that's very rare. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Actually all my next 3 films, the roles were written for men. I wonder what that says. It's fun, no? I don't know. It really, I want to understand the filmmaker's mind and it's so amazing that, and I don't think this could have ever happened a few years back. If we look at cinema, I don't think it could ever have happened. If we are in a place that we can see women in men's role with their spirit, it's telling something about our cinema also, and it's saying something about our filmmakers, and in a good way.
Yeah,
I feel goes to show that the spirit of the character is more important,
not the gender.
Yeah. And if the filmmaker feels that he's getting something more, he or she is getting something more interesting by having me or a woman, which was originally maybe planned. It's a rethinking of people,
Yeah.
you know. It's rethinking of gender in
Yeah.
a way. It's rethinking of characters and what they can bring, and it's also rethinking the gender equation where a film is concerned.
Right.
You know, because we have distinction between what a male actor brings, what a female actor brings. So that means it is also, you know, somewhere saying it's blurring the lines between,
Yeah.
you know, in a way, at least in these films, I
Yeah.
can say.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think it's a very big thing to say where cinema and the business of cinema
Right.
stands and where it's going. Or, you know. So it's nice.
How do you celebrate success?
For me, when I meet my team
Hmm.
and the entire crew and the film's crew and the people involved, that's when I feel my success is complete. You know, it's not complete otherwise. You can't celebrate success in isolation. The thing that you created with 500 people or 700 people, you know, it's very strange to suddenly be alone when the film is, you know, creating that kind of audience and all that. And I feel it's very important for me to be together with the people who made it. So I try and meet those people and I try and connect with them so that the experience feels complete. And spend time with my friends and just relax and just, you know, feel grateful. And yeah, definitely meet my team.
Right. Lastly, I'd like to ask, what's it being like Tabu today? There's still a mystery around you. There are things that people still don't know in a good way. And like one of the things is that you have a funny side to yourself. And it's very rare that you kind of put it out in the public space because obviously you are not very socially active also. Like in terms of, you know, social gatherings, we hardly see you. The last time you stepped out was what, for Karan's birthday?
Yeah.
No, or probably
Oh,
at the
Drishyam
Sham's
party, you were
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's very rare. So what's it like being?
I think I go to मतलब जितने पार्टीज में दूसरे जाते हैं मैं भी उतनी ही पार्टीज में जाती हूँ खाली पता नहीं लोग मैं नजर क्यों कम आती हूँ उन लोगों को you know हाँ say what is the question?
No, I was like, what's it like being taboo? The mystery around this taboo.
There is no mystery. I mean, I'm sure there are things that we don't know about anybody. You know, I don't know about you. I don't know about so many people. And I don't think there's anything to know either, you know. I think I'm quite out there with myself. And yeah, that's it.
As much as you want to.
Yeah, but beyond this, then there's really actually nothing that, you know, needs to be out there. My work is out there and I think that is with everyone. No?
Yeah.
Nobody's life beyond a point is public.
And we are going to do a special segment with her, which is about the story behind the picture. We've selected a few pictures from your Instagram.
Okay.
And we just want to know the stories behind posting those pictures.
Okay.
The first one is with Anees Bazmi. And you've written, Anees bhai, ye taaj aapke saath.
Yes.
Please tell us what was the intention
Of this line?
of this line
photo?
and in this picture?
Because I wanted to put the crown of the success and the credit and my performance on his head. This photo was taken at a very interesting moment. They were trying to fix this thing. It was my wedding sequence, and you know, it's made of thermocol.
Okay.
And it was just not sitting, and nobody could, you know, adjust it. So Anees bhai came and like within 1 minute he just fixed it. So these beautiful pictures are captures of those moments. And yeah, So I wanted to put the crown of Bulbulaya on his
A
head.
thermocol crown.
Thermocol crown.
Right.
Yeah.
The next one is with Akshay Khanna. The caption is delighted to have a gem of an actor on board for Drishyam 2.
Yeah.
He was truly a gem in the film also.
Yeah, he is. He is an amazing actor. He's a very committed and a very sincere actor. He's very sincere and serious towards what he's doing. No nonsense. And, you know, he's very, very meticulous. And he's extremely intelligent and great fun to be around. And I've always really, really liked him, loved him. And yeah, it was great, to spend time with him actually. To spend time, have conversations, do these scenes. It was really nice. It's nice when you have an exchange, with your co-actors like that.
The next one is with Mr. Bachchan. It's from the world tour that you did in 1999.
Yeah.
And this you posted probably on the anniversary of Chini Kam.
Okay.
And you said thank you for being a part of this incredible journey, sir.
Yes.
And one of your very close friends, Harneet Singh, has also commented that we want Chini Kam too.
Wow.
And a lot of your fans want Chini Kam too. Can we have it?
I hope so. I really hope so. Balki has been promising me a sequel since like 2 years after Chini Kam. And in fact, he was completely ready with the idea. And he started writing it. And I remember, I think he also met Gulzar Saab for it.
Okay.
And he has a really, really nice idea about it. But I don't know why he did not go ahead and do it. But I'm really, really, really wanting a Chini Kam too. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about this photo that was taken from
Show the picture. It says world tour. Right? Wasn't there one more photo with this?
Yeah, there was another photo from this. This is a screenshot.
Acha, you screenshot. So we went for a world tour in 1999. This was, I think, New York. I don't remember. And we would perform on stage. And this is one of the most wonderful moments and times of my life that will remain like so special to me. We were there for like 45 days. And with Salman, Sohail and GS Entertainments tour, Govinda, me, Urmila, Amit ji, Suman Ranganathan, a lot of us. And we were performing every weekend like they do on weekends. And it's there that Amit ji and I struck a bond with each other. And that time, we would email each other.
Okay.
And I still remember he is so like good with, responding immediately. And it was a beautiful experience. Amit ji would be with us at every nightclub that we went, every party that we went, everywhere where we partied. He took us to the Universal Studios in Florida. At like midnight, we attempted going there. And he took us on this a drive to, I wanted to go to the Golden Gate Bridge at midnight, San Francisco. And he organized for everybody to go and, for a drive to the Golden Gate Bridge. It's one of the most beautiful memories and the most fun that I have ever had in my life. Yeah.
The next one is with your mother.
And my pet, Chinnu.
Chinnu. So it's written, if I were to take a million births, all I'd wish for is to born to you.
Yeah.
And I remember that you put another picture with your mother, which you captioned it very nicely, "Mummy, mummy, modern bread."
So there was a radio ad, you remember?
Yes, there was a radio ad.
So in Hyderabad, when we were growing up, that was the ad. Mummy, mummy, modern bread, something like that. So whenever I say mummy, I remember that ad it stuck in my head. So yeah, of course, mothers, we always have like, मेरी एक ही माँ है, मैं बोलती हूँ, like, you know, मम्मी आप संभालना, आप मेरी एक ही माँ हो, you know. So, yeah, I don't think I would be, whoever I am, whatever I am, is, I wouldn't be able to be this if not for my mother. And being her daughter and, living this life with her, sharing my life with her, and just being always protected and always, I think she has really preserved me in so many ways. Like all of us, I think when we go back to our parents from whatever we are doing, that whatever it is that we are doing, there is a sense of, okay, I'm okay, I'll be okay, I'll be fine. And whether you've done like the wrongest thing or the stupidest thing, you go and sit with your parents and you feel, okay, theek hai yaar, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
And I think she makes me feel that like so strong, because she has been so strong. And now, I mean, as you grow older in experience and all that, you understand that strength is not just about, aggression or assertiveness or power or anger or shouting or, fighting and being in conflict all the time. Though, I mean, you can be all of this. But strength is not just about that.
Yeah.
Strength, when your strength is silent and when it's not really out there and when it's not really dying to express itself, it's a very, very slow and long process of getting understood or being understood by people. Strength is so many things. Strength is just, I mean, if I give my example of my mother, why I feel strong with her, why I feel so much strength when I'm around her, I'm sure all children feel like that around their parents. But when I think of it, when I think of her journey and when I think of what she has meant for me in my life, I see that there is so much silent strength, in just being whoever she is, in just not ever changing who she was, in just retaining that innocence that she still has, that faith in everybody who comes in her life, in the trust in people, and the simplicity of good, bad, moral, immoral, all that. There is like real simplicity. And I feel there is so much strength in simplicity. So I feel that is the strength that she has.
Does she watches your film?
Yeah.
How did she react to Bhool Bhulaiya?
She got very scared.
Okay.
She did not want to watch, first of all. She said, नहीं बेटे मेरे को नहीं देखना है. I said, मम्मी मेरी फिल्म है, please.
Right.
So I took her and I sat next to her and I made her watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
The last one is with your sister Farah, and you written fist up always. Were you the one who would always...
No, so this was my first birthday.
Okay.
And that time you went to photo studios to get click. And I was crying a lot because that garland I had in my fist was falling.
Okay.
So I did not want it to fall. So I held it like that. My mother says, you were so conscious in that photo that the flower garland was falling. So I kept doing this. Ye phul girna nahi chahiye mera. Even in that crying and all that, So that was the thing, fist up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that whole idea of being perfect started very early, at almost like what, 1 year?
कैमरे के सामने फूल नहीं गिरना चाहिए.
कैमरे के पीछे कुछ भी हो जाए, कैमरे के सामने एकदम.
कॉस्ट्यूम खराब नहीं दिखना चाहिए. लुक खराब नहीं होना चाहिए.
But tell us about Farah. I mean, how has she been a support to you?
So my sister is very, very different from me in her approach to life and all that. She's always been like the bold one and, outspoken. And she's the bindas one, like, yes, no, ta, do, ta, like that. And she's always been very strong. And she's extremely protective of me. And I wonder, and sometimes I tell her, first of all, I'm not a child. I'm much grown, much more than a child or even a girl or a young girl or a woman. But I guess older siblings are like that. They'll want to protect you, like whatever.
Irrespective of the age.
Yeah. And sometimes I tell her, I said, how you have lived and how you have been, how can you be so, like, this thing tender when it comes to me? So she's like, I don't know, like, you feel like a child to me, you know. Then I understood, okay, whatever happens. And I understand that because when I am dealing with my cousins or my friends' children who are young and much younger and all that, I feel like that, okay. You feel a sense of protectiveness because you feel that you have walked that path and you don't want them to, go there. And you know what can happen. So you want to protect them. So natural instinct hai. So my sister's like that about me and she'll always be like that about me, I feel. Which is a fantastic thing because whatever happens, I'll go to her and she will like sort it out and she will give me the solution and all that.
Well, thank you so much for taking out time and all the best and wish you luck.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on all the success that has come this year.
Thank you. I've been lucky. God has been kind. Really. Thank you. Hi, this is Tabu and you're watching News 18 Shosha.